Hi, in this lesson we'll be seeing about different patch types, code lines and code levels of Oracle Business Suite. First we'll be seeing what are different types of patches, then code lines and code levels. We'll also see what is a release update patch, that is RU, and we'll see different tables and queries which are related to the patch, code lines, code levels or release updates. So first, what are different types of patches in Oracle Business Suite? One of the most frequently applied patch is a one-off patch. One-off patch usually is applied to fix a specific bug. For example, one day a functional consultant can come to the DBA and say that they have a data issue and they need a patch to fix that specific data issue. Then the DBA will download that specific bug or patch basically and apply that patch to fix this specific bug. That is usually called a one-off patch. And the next type of patch is a mini pack or patch set. Previously, long ago, it was called as mini pack, now it's called as patch set. A patch set is nothing but a combination of one or more one-off patches. And usually, most of the products have basically these patch sets released frequently. For example, if you take AD product, you'll be having the patch sets of a specific product. AD C10, ADC11, etc. Similarly for AR, we also have mini packs or patch set called AR C9, C10, etc. And also remember that these mini packs or patch sets need not be every time related to a specific level or version, but it can be set of one-off patches. So usually you can say that the patch set is nothing but a combination of more than one-off patches. So what is a family pack? A family pack obviously includes several one-off patches and mini packs or patch sets, and usually it's going to update a specific family. That is, for example, for financials, if I am applying a financials latest family pack, then it will be updating all the products that are there inside the financials family. CPU patches. The CPU patches are called critical patch updates. Remember, the CPU, though it shows like CPU, it's mainly related to the security and high priority patches. And Oracle releases CPU patches quarterly, and it is very important that the DBAs check these CPU patches quarterly and apply on eBusiness Suite. There is something called release update pack or RUP. The release update patches basically update your version in the same release. For example, I am on, let's say for example 12.2.5, and Oracle, if they're releasing 12.2.10, that is a release update patch. Similarly, if I'm 12.1.1, I can apply the 12.1.3 release update patch. There are something called pre-upgrade patches. Sometimes before you upgrade your EBS, you need to apply some prerequisite patches. These are called the pre-upgrade patches. And finally, the last but not the least is interoperability patches. Let's say for example, I'm upgrading my database from 12C to 19C. When you're upgrading your database from 12C to 19C, you need to make sure that the EBS is compatible with the new version. And to make it compatible, which means to make it interoperable, you're going to apply these interoperability patches. And most of the time, these interoperability patches will give you functionality of the eBusiness Suite to be compatible with the next version of the technology stack. For example, database or Fusion middleware, etc. So these are different types of patches that are there in Oracle Business Suite. Obviously, the frequency of applying decreases as you go up because mostly the DBAs apply one-off patches, then followed by patch sets or mini packs, and then family patches, CPU patches, etc. So what is a code line? A code line is usually associated basically with a specific version of the release. These have been released mainly in or introduced in R12. In R12, first they started with code line A, that is release 12.0. And code line B stands for release 12.1 and code line C stands for release 12.2. So where do you see this functionality or the name called C? For example, we have seen in the previous example that the mini packs which are released or the family packs which are released are going to update the specific products or families. And if you see the naming convention of these mini packs, it says AD.C, which means the C code line basically denotes specific release 12.2, which means this specific ad.c.11 is going to be, it should be applied in 12.2 only. So you cannot apply this specific patch on 12.1 because the code line is C. So these are the code lines, and code lines are basically associated with specific releases. So what is a code level? We have seen previously that we apply mini packs or basically patch sets. And these patch sets are nothing but combination of several one-off patches related to specific product. And these patch sets basically can be, for example, for AD product or AR product or TXK or different products. And as you can see here, in code line A or code line B or code line C, you'll be having different code levels. And these code levels are specific to a product, which means, for example, I have, let's say, AD product. In AD product, I have basically a code line called C, which is release 12.2, and the code levels are basically these numbers: C.10, 11, 12, 13, etc. The AD latest code level is, for example, C.12. That is, for release 12.2, the latest version available at this point of time is basically C.12. That is basically the code level. Code levels are usually associated with a specific product, that is module, for example. And you can see, if you see this specific number, what you need to understand is this is the code line C and this is the code level 10. So what are release update patches? As I've told before, release update patches usually updates your version in a specific release. For example, if I'm on 12.2.5, I can apply the release update patch 12.2.10, which is the latest version available at this point of time. So what are some important tables which are related to all the discussed topics? For example, code lines, code levels, Oracle EBS version, etc. AD applied patches, AD underscore bugs. There are two important tables. And the difference is quite simple. AD applied patches contains the information about all the patches you have applied using ADOP or AD patch. But AD underscore bugs contains information about all the one-off bug fixes also that are fixed by these applied patches. For example, I am applying patch number 1. And this patch number 1 internally fixes, for example, lot of one-off bugs. And let's say, for example, this patch 1 applies, let's say 1A, 1B and 1C, or different numbers basically. Let's say this patch number 1 basically fixes bug number 2, 3 and 4. And when you are querying AD applied patches, you will see information about only one, because that is a patch you actually applied by using ADOP or AD patch. But AD underscore bugs contains information about not only 1, but also 2, 3, 4, because these are one-off bug fixes which are fixed by the patch 1. So AD bugs usually is the best way to query whether a specific patch is applied or not always. FND underscore prot underscore groups basically contains information about your eBusiness Suite installation. What is the version of your eBusiness Suite, whether it's enabled with multi-org or not, etc. And FND prot installations give information about your products. For example, what are different applications that are there, and what is the table spaces, default table spaces, what is the patch level information, etc. For example, I can find information about AP product, the default table space, the patch level of it. Similarly, AD product, for example, that is applications DBA. AD file versions and AD files are two other important tables which you can find information about the files. ADOP sessions contains information about all ADOP sessions. We will see about ADOP sessions in next lesson in detail. Now let us try to see some basic queries which are related to the discussed topics. The first important query what I'll see now is select release underscore name from FND underscore prot underscore groups. This will give me the version of the eBusiness Suite, that is 12.2.10 for example. And if I want to find the patch level of a specific product, AD for example, I can run this query from FND underscore product underscore installations, and it shows us the patch level of it. And we know already that R12 means the release, AD is the product, C is the code level, or basically code line, and this is the code level. And AD trackable entities can also be used to find information about products and also family packs. For example, this query with abbreviation like %_PF gives us information about all the family packs that are there in the installation. And this one will give me information about only the AD product, that is applications DBA, and the code level is C12, baseline or code line is C. This is how you can find the information about different code levels and also code lines, information about the products, that is applications, etc.